I think that may have cost the game. Definitely it might have cost the game.
So, Dellon, the Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan T20 series, we had the third game during the past week. Now, last week, Muad and Khadija talked about this, that Sri Lanka, they already registered the series win. It was a dead rubber in that last game. So, the result didn't go Sri Lanka's way, but it was a game with a lot of positives for Sri Lanka. We had Kamindu Mendis coming in and making use of the opportunity that he received, and there was some sort of a controversy regarding that no ball as well. So thoughts on that game? Rahmanullah Gurbas played a great knock for Afghanistan too. So thoughts about on that final T20 game between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan?
Yes, I think Sri Lanka had a great outing throughout the series against Afghanistan, starting from the Test match series itself, and they've dominated the series. Especially they've showed much improvement in the batting lineup. I think that should be something that we should be giving credit to them. And also I think the bowlers raised their hand throughout the one-day format and the T20 format. It was very crucial in the latter part of the game, so credit to them as well. And speaking of the third T20 game, I think initially we bowled and they got a good score on the board, but our batters were up for it, and as you said, Kamindu Mendis was given an opportunity, and he showed that he is also in business and he has his class to play at the international stage. And so I think those are the positive signs that we can take, but unfortunately the game had its own ups and downs with the controversial call and all of that, which didn't go our way. But definitely we should be giving credit to how the Lankan lads put up a show for the Sri Lankan fans.
Yes, indeed. And Pathum Nishanka, who scored a double century in the ODI series, scored another century in the last ODI. Didn't have the best of times in the first two T20s, but made a good comeback in that last T20, scoring 60 of 30. But unfortunately, he got injured and he had to retire hurt. So no one could wonder whether it was a T20 century which was on the way for Sri Lanka after, I think after 12 years. I think it was in 2012 or 13 that TM Dilshan scored that century against Australia at Tal Premadas itself. So Pathum Nishanka was brilliant, and as we mentioned about Kamindu Mendis, he was really good. So Kamindu Mendis, I think he played a T20 game after 2-3 years, I believe, Dellon. So it was a great game for Kamindu Mendis, and it is a World Cup year as well. So going into the World Cup year, we need to make sure that our squad depth is there. So Kamindu Mendis will certainly provide us that. So I mean, who knows, even he might be able to get a permanent place in the squad, because Kusal Perera didn't fire in that game. He replaced Dhananjay De Silva. So that number 3 spot is still up for grabs in the Sri Lankan batting lineup. So going back to that no ball, Dellon, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it was not given a no ball, but a lot of people had their fair share of thoughts about that. Waindu Hasaranga, the skipper for Sri Lanka, was clearly disappointed, and he also got suspended for 2 games because he showed it at the ground itself that he was not pleased with that decision, and had a little altercation with the umpire Lyndon Hannibal at the ground itself. And even at the post-match press conference, he stated his disappointment about that. So thoughts about that? I mean, some people there, I mean, it was a very small number, but some people said that Kamindu Mendis advanced down the ground, so it was a good call. But I think at least around 90% of the people agreed, and even some pundits in cricket agreed that it should have been called a no ball.
Yes, I would say as a fan or a cricket player, you would definitely get disappointed about the call. But at the end of the day, it depends on the umpire's call at whatever said and done. So unfortunately, it didn't go our way the way we wanted. So I think that may have cost the game. Definitely, it might have cost the game. But at the end of the day, we have pluses and minuses. Even if with the review system, we have pluses and minuses with umpire's call going away with the slightest of margin. So hard call, but unfortunate definitely for the Sri Lankans.
So after the Afghanistan series, Dellon, now the Bangladesh T20 series is coming up. It's a full tour to Bangladesh. We have the T20s, then the ODIs, and then the Test series, which belongs to the World Test Championship. So Sri Lanka will start off with the T20I series, as I mentioned earlier, and I think Pathum Nishanka may not be available for the T20 series, and Mahindu Hasaranga won't be available for the first two games. So I think Jeffrey Van Der Sey is there as his backup in the squad, and I think as I heard, Avishka Fernando is making comeback to the T20 side. So let's see how Sri Lanka can handle the Bangladeshis in the T20I series, because I think we only have 3 more games, and those are the 3 good games that we have before the T20 World Cup in West Indies and USA. So that's news from the Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan T20, the third T20I. Sri Lanka, they lost the game by just 3 runs. Afghanistan, they made 209 for the loss of 5 wickets, and then Sri Lanka in reply made 206 for the loss of 6 wickets. So that's the news from the Sri Lanka vs Afghanistan T20I.